that they're very interested in him going and taking this to the public, and they're pleased that at least so much information has gotten out so far, because they want to examine our reality. They're openly admitting now and starting to admit to Billy they really don't understand too much about our cause and effect, that they're not real sure how we're going to react to things all the time. They don't seem to be very tuned into our logic. You know, us little earthworms down here, we have our own way of doing things and solving problems, and the Plejadians don't seem to be tuned in very well to that. And now they're telling Billy that a lot of what they've been doing is pushing Billy to go public almost as an experiment. They wanted to see, for one, if Billy would actually go through with it and what the public would really think of it. They're very interested in trying to see if the information would go worldwide, because they want to look at the responses of the people to see if mass consciousness can actually be stimulated. They say apparently they're forbidden to actually one-on-one get into our innermost thoughts. They can't sample our independent thoughts. It's like an ethics thing with them. But they can, and apparently they were, through Billy, trying to impose their will a little bit on the mass consciousness of the public to see if that might be possible. And they're mentioning to Billy that it's kind of important to them that they find this out by 1977, and they're not telling him why 1977 is very important. But she tells Billy that they're regarding him actually as a success, because the information is getting out. There's a lot of coverage on it. The pictures are causing quite a stir. Most people have, in Europe, the few people that have seen his report notes don't agree with it and are voicing a lot of objections to some of his numbers and his philosophies and so forth that are stated in these contact notes. But the pictures seem to be making inroads into governments and different organizations who are taking it seriously. So the Plejadians were very pleased about that, in that Billy's UFO contacts have made more impact than all the UFO groups have had over the years. And that's kind of true. Billy's probably more well known than all the UFO groups anywhere. More people know about the Billy Meier UFO case all around the world than any other UFO case. Billy's also apparently looks kind of like been a test case. They've been watching the probability that Billy himself would be able to keep going on his mission without acting against them. Apparently they've had problems with that in the past, but those that they've selected have not turned out to be very loyal and sincere. And they said there's a 34% chance that he would have acted against their wishes and caused the mission to fail, but Billy's not done that so far. He's hung in there real well. So they were very proud about that, and they were very happy about it. So they are doing kind of their own little lab testing, and it's becoming more and more apparent that Billy and his group, apparently, and all of us, are something of an experiment, really, for the Plejadians. That's probably the main reason why they don't land on the White House lawn and show themselves in force. They don't have any intention of doing that, and thank you, I'm glad that they don't. This is our planet, after all, and we have to solve our own problems. I mean, it's fascinating to see a ship and think about maybe going for a ride in one, but I really don't want to race from a long ways away with a different morality and a different sense of ethics telling us what to do or imposing their will on our society. And you know, if they let the ships be seen all over the world, that it's going to cause a lot of panic. Many people are going to worship them. A lot of other people are going to take everything they say totally serious, and that's going to really terribly impede the ability for us to build our own future. We have to learn to be responsible for ourselves. We really don't need no babysitters. So this is my planet. Stay off of it. Okay. On our 65th contact, which is October 23rd, 76, they reiterate a little bit that they're happy with the way things are going, and that they don't want Bill any longer to worry about going public. As a matter of fact, now they've got a new attitude, and they want him to start protecting himself, because now they're saying that so many people are finding out about it that there are many groups out there wishing to cause Billy harm, and there will be more attempts on his life. So they're telling him to be very careful, and he has a nice long talk with Ptah that day about now staying at home, don't venture too far from home, cancel speaking engagements, stay close, and we'll start watching his security and be very careful. That there are also others out there still trying to bring harm to him, so he's going to have to start watching them. From now on, his message should only be for small groups, and he should look to very serious-minded small groups to get his information out, and let the information from the contact notes start being disseminated in this fashion. One of their main worries, he says, remember earlier we talked about a group of people under Unterberg, and these were people that had flying discs. Ptah again tells him that there are private groups who have flying discs, not governments, but flying private groups that have built their own flying ships, and from the plans from World War II, and they're afraid that Billy will expose them. They've been very secretive for years, hiding out, and they're having their own effect on the world, and they're hoping to grow in power themselves and start to overtake the world or whatever. A man named Dunberg, who is a German, heads the Brazilian group, and they're after Billy. They're trying to kidnap Billy, and there's been 3 attempts by them on Billy's life. So they're telling Billy to start staying close to home and don't get out. On the 66th contact, Wednesday, November 10th, 76, a nice thing happens. Herbert Runkle gives Semjase a teddy bear. And Billy brings it to the contact, and it's in a little box, and she opens it up, and it's a cuddly little teddy bear, and she just loves it. She thinks it's really cute, and normally she will not accept any gifts, but she likes this, and she takes the teddy bear. So somewhere out in the cosmos, there's a speeding beam ship flying along with a little teddy bear sitting on the dashboard. There was a comment about our astrology not being accurate enough, that we round things off too much to the minute, sometimes to the hour, when we should learn to be more accurate by the seconds, and we probably will once our technology advances. Once we're able to sense radiations from planets more accurately and do it, scientifically, then astrology will probably pick up. She did mention how important it is at the birth, that the moment of birth isn't when the body comes out. The moment of birth is at the point with the head, the soft spot on the head, actually first breaches the air and the radiations immediately hit the head. So it can sometimes be minutes or afterwards before the body actually comes out, and they felt that was very, very important. The symbol of Era, which I'll draw for you on the exhibit drawings, you can see, looks kind of like a right parentheses and a 0 with a dot in the middle, and then kind of like a plus sign over an E. This is the symbol of the planet Era, and Semjase mentioned that the symbols of her planet and most all the other planets go back to their forefathers, who created all these images based on the radiations of the stars. That there's a whole set of symbols, and our current day astrology is still centered around most of those. That most of those images have worked their way down now for 12,000 years and are still found here on Earth. Semjase is praising the members of Billy's group for helping him with security. There's 3 more attempts on his life, one by a group of Israelis, the same group apparently who killed the man who brought the Talmud Emmanuel to Billy. Now there'll be a little bit more on that later on. But there's an attempt on his life by the Israelis, and there are 2 more attempts on his life by a Nazi group which is hiding out in Brazil that has their own flying disc. They're after Billy also. Apparently this group in Brazil had a flying disc based on the knowledge from the Germans after World War II. They also had a captured extraterrestrial disc, which the Plejadians found out about and destroyed, so they would no longer have the use of. One other little interesting thing here, when Billy was taking a ride with Semjase once and being able to take pictures of Venus and Mercury and so forth, she had mentioned something strange about the size of Mercury. And Billy asked her to reiterate that, and she said yes, that the core of Mercury is a metal core, and it has so much mass to it that it's actually pulling the surface in. Mercury is actually shrinking somewhat in size. Okay. Next thing we're going to get into is the pictures taken by Billy of the universe barrier and Jupiter. He was having a lot of problems actually with those. People were claiming that they were fakes, that he had taken pictures of drawings in magazines, which is not true. So I'll meet you on the other side, and we'll talk all about that. Okay, jump over there.